Hey there, CPO here, and you'll notice I'm not in the garage or out in the driveway this time. I'm actually in my dining room. My wife loves it when I do arts and crafts inside the house, so this is a special video just for that reason. Listen, what I'm gonna show you how to do right now is to make magnetic mounted cameras for your vehicle. So if you've watched any of my videos, particularly the Seikane videos, you'll know I've been talking a lot about having front-mounted trail cameras, spotter cams, that I can switch between while I'm on the trail. And I have one camera already set up using this magnetic mount that I've already made for that to test. I wanted to make sure it would hold up on the highway, some bouncing and jarring. It's doing great. So I've got full confidence that this is gonna hold for all three cameras. So I'm gonna make the other two. These other two cameras I'm gonna build are gonna be looking at like tire views, or maybe up underneath the vehicle, looking down underneath at an overall underbelly view. But regardless of the fact, I'm gonna show you how, with a couple of tools, some 5-minute epoxy and some magnets, we can take a dash camera and make it a magnetic mount. So let's get started. All right, so first let me show you the camera that I'm using. I got these off of Amazon. All this stuff comes from Amazon, and I'll put some links in the video description. But these are the little cameras that I'm using. So I picked these because these are CCD cameras, which tend to be a better camera than a CMOS. And they are, according to the vendor, IP68 rated, which means they're waterproof. You know, they're gonna be outside the vehicle, and I want something that can handle the elements. So that's why I picked these. And the other thing is, with these mounts, it gave me a lot of options. I can screw them in, or I can add magnets, which I'm gonna do here for you. And then you can rotate and have it mounted upside down, straight, you know, whatever. Plus you can adjust the angle by bending this mount. So lots of options here. That's why I went with these. So let's look at the base here that we're dealing with. Basically, when I was trying to decide how I wanted to magnetize these, I realized that putting magnets right here is gonna work perfect. The magnets I'm using are these super magnets. They come 3 in a pack in this size, so I end up with 2 packs for 3 cameras. These are the 0.7 inch diameter by 0.11 inch, so 18 millimeter by 3 millimeter. These are really strong magnets, and the size is perfect. And I experimented with 1 versus 2, and I found 2 just makes the most sense. So I'm doing 2 magnets per camera. These guys are stuck together fairly well. All right, so those guys can wait, but here they are, and obviously they are very well attracted to each other. But what I found is I can get them side by side. If I get the polarity adjusted right, they'll lay just like that, which is actually how I'm gonna have them mounted on the base of the camera. So when we add the camera into the mix, you can see that's gonna make a perfect magnetic mount. But before I add these, what I wanna do is add some epoxy into this. And what I'm using, this is from my hobby RC days. I really like this 5-minute epoxy. This is a 2-part epoxy. So the way it works is you put equal amounts of both bottles and mix them up, and then use that. And this is, in my opinion, far superior to super glue. Plus, I'll show you here, I like to get a lot of coverage to really not just, you know, attach them via, you know, the backside of the magnet to the metal, but sort of encasing things in this. So, and for the mixing, I just use a paper plate and whatever I have laying around that's disposable. Here's a plastic knife. Oftentimes also I'll use like popsicle sticks or stuff like that. All right, so let's get going here. I'm gonna add, it's a 5-minute epoxy. So once you start this process, you don't have a whole lot of time, but try and get those blobs to be as equal as possible. I'm a little bit larger on the one blob, so I'll just add a touch more right there. All right, so what I would recommend you do is stretch out this cord so it's not in the way. If you're uncomfortable with doing this with the camera attached, you can always remove the camera. This will unscrew and then separate. Just like that. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do that since I've already got it this far. All right, so with that said, what I'm going to do now is add epoxy to these little wings here. Okay. And then I'll take my magnets carefully and then let them sort of slide into place. And then what I can do is come in here and even add a little bit to the top. And that'll settle in and you'll see like these little epoxy domes when it's dry. Try and get it off of the bottom. All right, there we go. I'm going to leave this sitting in this upright position. We'll let it dry and then I'll show you the final result. By the way, if you get epoxy on stuff, the only thing that's gonna get it off is acetone. If you try and use water or whatever, it won't work. All right, so here is the dried product. As you can see, it's kind of that mount is sort of encapsulated inside with those magnets and a nice clean surface. Let's go ahead and get this camera back on there. There you go. There you can see magnetic mount camera. It's getting a little bit dark outside, but let's go outside. I'll show you how it works on the Jeep. Like I said, it's starting to get a little bit dark out here, but that's okay. I think we can get you what you want to see. So first of all, take a look at the camera I have currently mounted. It's right there. And it's been holding just fine in the front. But if I wanted a camera here, I can just set that right there and point it wherever I want, slide it around. You know, works really well. I can even get back in here into some of these places that might be a little bit more hidden, like right here. So the reason I like this magnetic mount idea is because it gives me more options. Now I still have to run the cabling, but that's easily movable depending on what I want to do. Say I wanted to point one right here off of this fender on the trail pointing down in front of my tire. Well, I can do that because I have the ability to move this thing around. I can even get so creative if I wanted to and set it underneath pointing down. Sorry, it's getting a little dark in here. But anyway, those are the options. And like I said, once you epoxy those magnets to that base, it is easily stuck pretty much wherever you need it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.